What's good, your man? It's here. It's your man, Rick the Dog. What's poppin'? Hey, Lil Wayne is not the GOAT. Lil Wayne is not the GOAT, man. Y'all tripping, dog. You little youngins. Y'all know nothing about rap. I'm convinced. Lil Wayne is not the GOAT. This episode is brought to you by my new signature shoe, the Don Don 1. You can get that at aliveshoes.com/Don Don 1 Jelly. Go cop those. And also go cop that new Secret Society Broken Heart shirt at bhshirts.com. Lil Wayne is not the GOAT. Before I set some truth to the matter, I got to give my man his flowers first. You know, me and Lil Wayne on the same team. We wear the same skin jersey. And anytime that this should be a new thing. Anytime a black man is set to, in any way, shed light that could damage the reputation or anything of that nature of his teammate, he got to give him his roses first. Let's make that a thing, man. 2025. Lil Wayne, here's some things that he is. He's amazing. He's brilliant. He's incredibly talented. He's extremely smart, genius level smart. He is tough as nails. He is fearless. He's the guy who has Corinne Steffens on lockdown. You hear what she said? She told somebody that no matter at any point in her relationship, no matter who she with, if Lil Wayne called her, she would leave that guy. Even if it's in the middle of the night, she would leave that guy and go be with Lil Wayne. Bro, my bro is really doing it out here in these streets. You gotta give him his credit for that. That goes on his shelf. Because Corinne Steffens, she is not an average chicken. If she's saying it, my man's did something right. What else is Lil Wayne? Lil Wayne is incredible at diversification. He's incredible at adaptation. I love that word for him. He's a lot of things. He's a money maker. He's a hustler. Did I say he's tough as nails? First off, salute everybody. Every single person from New Orleans right now. I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because they went through Hurricane Katrina and they still rocking and rolling. I was a security guard in New Orleans after Katrina, and I saw the people out there, beautiful people out there, for sure. Tough as nails out there, man. You got to be tough to even breathe out there. So shout out to all of New Orleans. What else? Now, here's why he's not the GOAT. He has a ghostwriter, or at least he's had one. And that by default removes you from the GOAT conversation. Lil Wayne, when he first came in the game, he came in, wop, a whip a wop, whip a whip a wop, or whip a wop a wop, a wop a wop wop. My man's went from rapping like Flavor Flav to rapping like Jay-Z. You didn't figure it out? And Gilly, salute to Philly, Gilly can't really talk about it because I'm pretty sure he has NDAs, he probably has all these other things. So at one point, Stunner, shout out to Stunner, by the way. Love him, by the way. Stunner, being the savvy guru that he is, he realized that Wayne is extremely charismatic, had a boatload of talent. So he said, wait a minute, Wayne has everything he needs, but we want to take that next level, that next step. And being the savvy businessman that Birdman is, he started looking for talent for Wayne. Now, I don't know all the details. I'm just telling you what I think occurred based on what I saw from the outside looking in. And Gilly was already signed to the label. And Gilly is a writing machine. But Gilly has limitations in terms of appeal. And here lies the formula. The formula. Cash Money has a formula. Even Young Money, however you want to state it. They find someone who is beautiful or good looking, charismatic is number one, has appeal, visual appeal, and also has former acting chops. I'm telling you, that is the formula. You find someone who's an actor, good looking, and charismatic, and then you find the writing talent to fill in the blanks. That's what formula Birdman implemented for Lil Wayne. And then Lil Wayne implemented that same strategy for his talent. Birdman realized he had Gilly, and he said, you know what? We need writers for Wayne. So that's what really happened. With that situation, I believe. Outside of that situation, after Gilly left Cash Money, I mean, writers come a dime a dozen. It's not a big mystery how to find someone who can rap really well. We've seen several examples of this. But I believe the biggest change happened once I read a story, I believe it was in Vibe magazine, and Lil Wayne was moving out of the South to New York. He was doing so because his career in Star was expanding. He was becoming bigger and bigger as a talent. And I remember the article in which it talks about Lil Wayne being in a club performing in New York and the fans of New York booing Lil Wayne because they wasn't really rocking with him. He was from the South and all that. And I remember exactly what Wayne told them. He said, y'all can rock with me. I'm real. He told the fans that. And I believe that move from the South to the East was to get him better writing help, better writing talent. It is around this time that I read that article that I heard a major shift in Lil Wayne's style and cadence. I believe he got New York-based rappers. I'm not about to name who I think it is, but do the math. Lil Wayne came in as a hype man type of rapper, like whippity wop wop. He was more energy based, but I think that Wayne had greater aspirations because you know who his favorite rapper is. He listened to Jay-Z and said, you know what, I want to sound like that. But he wasn't born with that. Anytime a rapper comes in the game rapping one way and their entire style changes mid-career, you pretty much know what that is. Go look at any lyricist, any rapper, from the Jay-Z's to the Nas, to the Tupacs, to the Snoop Dogg's. The way they rap from the beginning is the way that they rap today. Because that's who they are. That's their actual rap style. Lil Wayne is an anomaly. He came in rapping like a Southern rapper, and then he left rapping like a New York artist. So, yeah. And I know his greatest fans are going to say this. Lil Wayne doesn't write his rhymes. You're damn right he don't. And he tells y'all all the time. One thing about Lil Wayne that I've learned over the years, he is incredibly honest. But people are incredibly stupid. And they don't want to believe the truth. He'll tell you right now. Newsflash. Weezy F baby with his fruit ass. He'll tell you that. He doesn't hide it. He'll tell you the truth. He'll tell you, I don't write rhymes because I don't got the time. He'll tell you the truth. But because fans are fans and they dumb as hell, they don't really hear it. He'll tell you, women love him like Satan. He's extremely honest. I'll give him that. So you thinking I'm blowing up his spot. But Lil Wayne already told y'all he don't write his rhymes. And that's not because he's so busy that he goes in the booth and just randomly gets high and spits out this immaculate. No, you idiot. That's not how rap works. Only person believe that if you really believe that Lil Wayne smokes a blunt and then goes in the studio and raps like Jay-Z, you dumb as hell. I want to just tell you that to your face. If you think Lil Wayne gets high off a blunt, you know what we do? We make you relaxed, calm, nervous, paranoid. It ain't this magical rap formula. As if that's the case, there'd be a lot of good rappers out here. If you think Lil Wayne smokes a blunt, goes into the studio, and then raps like Jay-Z, you are literally dumb as hell. Literally. Okay? So no, that's not how that works. The craziest part about Lil Wayne using a ghostwriter for me is I liked Wayne at every stage of his career, even the early years. Let's talk about the Hot Boys for a minute. One of my favorite groups of all time. I'm still confused as to why no one has taken their formula and replicated it. Here's the formula. They basically made a rap gangster boy band. Okay? Turk, BG, Juvenile, Lil Wayne. Man, Detroit loved Hot Boys. Okay? We loved them. And Detroit loves every member of the Hot Boys. From Turk to BG to Wayne to Juvie. Detroit has a special place and heart for them. Okay, we love them because they represented something that we didn't really see often. But how no one has taken that formula of getting four, real gangsters, and by gangsters I don't mean Blood, Crips, Hoover. I'm not meaning in that particular context, but just being tough boys from the project. How no one has did that again is beyond me. I also think the B2K formula is just waiting to be exploited. Find 4 people that are reasonably good looking with talent and then figure out the rest. How no one has done that for 4 black little boys or 4 black little girls is insane. Okay? If I had the resources to do it and the time and the patience, I would do it. But Wayne has always had something. Charismatic influence, charisma. He was an actor. I think he played in The Wiz, I believe it was. He was an actor in that. So he already came into the game as an actor from the start. But you are a product of your environment. And the way he rapped when he came into the game, go listen to Lil Wayne's first song. That's Lil Wayne right there. That's the real Lil Wayne. And he's a product of his environment. That's how they rap in New Orleans. They don't rap like Jay-Z in New Orleans. At least he doesn't. And he kind of switched from that to a different style where he started to kind of speed up and be more catchy. I'm not sure exactly where the ghostwriting started to happen, but I know when I listen to the Wayne of today, it's just a far cry from where he came from. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that the man has a super team of writers. And I'll tell you how I know this for a fact. You ever notice how Wayne at one point had, this is around the year 2001, 2, and 3. Wayne had a group called Squad Up. And these guys, you thought, were going to start releasing albums. This is at the ground level and inception of Young Money. Young Money comes out, and it's Wayne and all these gangsters with him, these gorillas. And you're thinking to yourself, at one point, Wayne is going to start putting on his talent, but they never come out. Gutta, they never come out. You want to know why? Here's my opinion, and this is not fact. Wayne had those guys around penning for him. Okay? That's what it was. They were writing for Wayne. And they were writing some of the most amazing material. Now, you might be asking yourself, if they're writing for Wayne and they're writing material that is that spectacular, why couldn't they just come out themselves? Well, it goes back to the charismatic part and the acting part. Let me tell you some things that Lil Wayne has that literally nobody on earth has. He has one of the most amazing voices ever. Okay? Lil Wayne has one of the most amazing voices ever. Okay? As a rapper. He's the GOAT rap voice. You want to give him a GOAT status? That's one of them you can give him. He has one of the greatest rap voices of all time. Period. Bar none. Okay? That raspy, thorough voice, that commanding raspiness is incredibly asphyxiating. He has that. And he's extremely charismatic. Extremely charismatic. Okay? He's a guy that you like without even having met him or known. He has the voice. He's an actor, so he knows how to act and get in character. And you add on some of these very important tenets, like meeting Mac 10, who made him a blood. That was one of the greatest things that could have happened to Wayne. It's when he met with Mac 10. Mac 10 put him on. That's my opinion based on what I think I've seen. I don't know any of these people personally, but I believe it was Mac 10 that put all the Cash Money on, to be exact, because I remember it. They wasn't really claiming blood or anything like that. In fact, you could see the Hot Boys wearing blue bandanas at one point. It just was happening. That's what it was. If you're mad at the truth, then you're the problem. So Mac 10, I believe, put him on. And so add that on to what Wayne brings. So now he has charismatic energy. He's charismatic. He has charisma. He has energy. He has the acting chops. He has the voice. Now he has a team of gangsters that will ride for him and with him. The only thing he's missing is lyrics. Because at the time, Wayne was good musically, but he was limited. Some of his best songs back then was like The Block Is Hot. Go listen to The Block Is Hot. That ain't the Wayne that you hear today. But the crazy part is we loved him for that. We recognized his talent. Wop it, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. It's New Orleans, ain't it? It's that bounce, that New Orleans bounce. That's what makes him New Orleans. That's what makes him a New Orleanian, right? But he wanted to cross over. That's the word I've been looking for the whole video. I couldn't get it. You know, it took me how long did it take me to get that word? It took me what 14 minutes to get that word. He wanted to cross over into the mainstream. He didn't want to be a local New Orleans talent and just get as big as the biggest New Orleans rapper or what have you. He wanted to cross over into America. He wanted to impact America. And that's what Wayne did. He had to get writers though. He had to get writers because he just didn't have that widespread sound. You see what I'm saying? So he needed some talent. He needed some help. And that is what they got him. Okay, they got him some help. Now, I remember first hearing Wayne outside of the Hot Boys, and it was a song called Young and Blues. I got the Young and Blues, dog. Da, 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 da. One of my favorite songs by Lil Wayne. And I remember just liking his energy and his realness. And that's who he was, man. That's who he was. He was an energy guy. He wasn't a lyricist at all. Nobody can change that dramatically as a rapper. That's just not how it works, bro. If you're a writer and you're a rapper, you already know that. You can't change to a whole different rapper in the middle of your career. That's just not how that works. Unless you got a writer, of course. So anytime you see a rapper go from one drastic person to a seismic shift to another person musically, then you know that's the easiest way to tell who has ghostwriters. But anyway, he had squad up around him, and you were wondering why they were never coming out. But what it was is he had squad up right in that fire. When I say Wayne was as hot as lava in the early 2000s, man, I was just minding my business in high school, and all I kept hearing was, "You heard Wayne?" Niggas quoting every. I said, "Man, let me hear this shit." Man, when I say that nigga was rapping his hind part off, he know how to take your shit and make it sound better than you. Now, these are some things that Wayne is the GOAT at. Wayne is the GOAT at taking your music and making it sound better than you. Oh, that is hilarious. Hey, Wayne will take your music and make it sound better than you. That is so funny, bro. I'm telling you, it's the truth, though. Wayne will take your lyrics and make them sound better than you, because he knows how to act. He has that incredible voice. He will make your lyrics sound better than you, dog. And it was funny because, and Jay-Z already know this. Jay-Z know Wayne got a writer. It was funny because I think they asked Jay-Z, like, and I'm paraphrasing because I remember exactly what was happening, but they asked Jay. They said, "What do you think about Lil Wayne, or do you think he's the greatest, or whatever?" Jay said something to the effect of, "I don't think he's the greatest. I just think he has great delivery." That's what he said, something like that. That's because what Jay-Z is so calm. Like, you'll never catch Jay-Z out of character. Like, Jay-Z already knows Wayne has writers, because if you are a top lyricist, one thing you know is all your enemies. You know who can take you out, who can't take you out, who can give you a challenge. You know all these people. You know the whole landscape. So Wayne was definitely on Jay-Z's radar a long time ago. Because Jay-Z, he wants to be the GOAT lyricist, not just the GOAT rapper. Jay-Z I'm talking about. So Jay-Z had already studied Wayne from top to bottom. And if you remember, there was a meeting between Birdman and Jay-Z about Lil Wayne. And trust me, I'm pretty sure that meeting revealed some of these things. But no, Jay already pointed out, he was like, "No, Wayne is not the greatest rapper of all time. He's a great deliverer of lyrics." Basically what Jay-Z said. Go find an interview, you'll find it. But no, so you was wondering why Squad Up wasn't coming out. It's because they was writing their ass off for Wayne. Right? That's all that was happening. And that's what happened. They gave him their best material, and Wayne took that material and lit the world up. That's it, bro. Look, Lil Wayne is not even in my top 10. And it's not because he is not Lil Wayne, charismatic, all these different things. It's because he don't write. And I think once you get a ghostwriter, you're automatically disqualified from the top 10 rappers of all time in my book. But if you don't care about the rules of hip hop, then Lil Wayne could be your GOAT. He's just not mine. And I don't think he's the GOAT as far as consensus is concerned. I don't think he's the GOAT all overall. And I personally believe if everyone heard or understood the whole ghostwriting concept that Lil Wayne takes advantage of, I think they will remove him from their top 10 easily. The reason I'm making this video, if you're wondering, is because there has to be this thing called the truth. The truth has to come to the light. It has to. It's a law. And I respect the game too much. I respect the game too much to allow this fake and false narrative to prevail while I'm here. I'm not going to allow that. What? Come on. I respect the game too much, bro. I really do. So I gotta keep it real. Now, what else? Wayne goes on, takes over, and now his formula is working. And, you can hear his flow change all the time, too. That's because he's using different writers. Some people leave, some people want to get paid, they're not getting paid. And he got to find somebody else. And Wayne is someone who will find great MCs that are not famous and then have his writers emulate that sound. His writers he'll probably say something like this. I like this nigga. This nigga, he got a nice flow. Give me something like that. Give me something like that. His writers, being master pensmen, can emulate just about any style ever. Give it to Wayne. Wayne, from there, takes over. Wayne takes your lyrics, and then he injects it with this crazy Lil Wayne voice and all this other stuff that Wayne does perfectly. Now, I want to point out something that I think that I haven't said, and I want to say this. Not being in my top 10 does not make Lil Wayne a bad rapper. In fact, I'm actually impressed with what he's been able to do. The fact that he's been able to adapt to these different genres and create so many children. All right, we call them children. When you have rappers who take your formula and try to use it themselves. So Lil Wayne has a lot of children out here. So I respect that. But really, Lil Wayne is a child of Pac, just like a lot of us. Lil Wayne is not a one of one. Are you kidding me? Lil Wayne took Pac's formula. Like he often does. He will take your shit and make it better. That's what he does. He takes your thing and make it better. He took Pac's formula, and I don't think he made it better, but he gave Pac a run for his money. I'm going to tell you that right now. Pac, M.O.B., Wayne stole that. Now, M.O.B. can stand for Member of Blood, Money Over Bees, however you want to frame it. But nevertheless, Wayne took that from Pac. F being like Jordan, I want to be like Pac. Yeah, take your shit, make it better. So he took that. What else did nigga take? The bandana. You always see him. You see him with his little red bandana. He definitely stole that from Pac, Mac 10. The tattoos. He took Pac's little few tattoos. Like, see, Pac had tattoos, but he didn't have a sleeve and fully covered. Because I think his tattoos really were meant to mean something, right? But Wayne took that and basically just went crazy with it. Yeah, man. Wayne is that guy for delivery, how he's able to adapt your style to his style to yours, and things of that nature. Yeah. Now, where Lil Wayne starts to go wrong, in my personal opinion, and this is my personal opinion, this is where we remove the objectivity and go to more subjectivity. Where Lil Wayne goes wrong is not acknowledging the source. You got to acknowledge the source, you see? This is where all rappers have gone wrong, as far as I'm concerned. This is where all rappers have gone wrong, as far as I'm concerned. The game, the whole rap game. That's where y'all going wrong right here. Oh my gosh, how do I say this? Give me strength, Jesus. This is where everybody going wrong at. Your gift is a gift from God. And the minute you lose sight of that, you lose sight of it. You lose it. And I think that's where Wayne goes wrong. Wayne was rather spiritual at the start of his career. And when you first see Wayne come into the game, because a lot of y'all are fans of Wayne and didn't see him come into the game. I saw Wayne come into the game. I was a fan of rap before Lil Wayne. And I saw Lil Wayne enter the game. That's how I know, oh, this nigga rap like this, and now he rap like that. That's how I can speak on it. Okay? Some people can speak on it, some people can't. So I saw Wayne come into the game. And he came in as, let me tell you what was Lil Wayne's initially, what really made him special. Okay, let's talk about what made Lil Wayne special when he first came into the game. What made him special was his charisma, his charisma, his style and cadence. It was not what we hear from the Wayne of today. It was just this passion, this energy that we had never heard of or we've never heard before. Because what Wayne did was actually, let's remove Wayne for a minute. This is what the Hot Boys did. This is what Cash Money did. This is what No Limit did. This is what that era of rappers did. They introduced us to New Orleans in a way like never before. He came in extremely innocent even. Okay, he was still a gangster, a little knucklehead. You definitely picked that up. But he had this spiritual energy, man. And I think a lot of that stemmed from him almost losing his life from his self-inflicted gun wound and surviving. I think he knew that somehow, some way, God was involved in that. And what happens after that, Wayne goes through this transformation and he enters the industry. And if you know anything about the industry, then you know it's basically Satan's playhouse. And Lil Wayne gets caught up in that. He gets caught up in the Satanism of the industry. And Satan steals Lil Wayne from God. That's my personal opinion. And this is why now Lil Wayne has taken on the satanic formula, if you will. And it's so unfortunate because what God could have did with Lil Wayne, man, what God could have did with Lil Wayne would have been groundbreaking. And really, I'm pissed because what has Satan done with Lil Wayne? Lil Wayne has sold his soul to Satan. And what has Satan did with him? What has Satan did with Lil Wayne? But basically steal Lil Wayne's look, formula, sound, and give it to everybody else. And then once Lil Wayne gets old enough, he's going to dispose of them like he always does. That's Satan's formula 101. He'll take you, tell you what he's going to give you, and he's going to do this, then he'll basically just throw you away once you get old enough. Man, God would have used him for so much more than that. So now, Lil Wayne is basically aging out. And the new Lil Waynes are starting to emerge. They're still in his style. And I love it. I love it, by the way. I think he deserves it. He is a rap thief. And what's happening now is, and I get to see it. I love it. I'm seeing that all these people are stealing his style, stealing his cadence, stealing his everything, and just using it. And he's not getting any residuals from any of it. I love it. It's great. I think it's well deserved. So, yeah, that's what happened. He ended up selling his soul to Satan, and that's it. Game over. That's his story. Lil Wayne will go down as the GOAT because people don't know the truth about him having ghostwriters, but it won't feel fulfilling because it wasn't earned. And amongst real hip hop and real hip hop heads, they won't respect that fake GOAT status, and he'll pretty much fall into irrelevancy. But yeah, man, God could have definitely. Well, that's what I was saying. He came into the game as the most beautiful creature ever. You could tell what God wanted to do with him. You could tell what God wanted to do. God gave him a voice. He gave him a certain look, and he gave him this immaculate ability to hype people up because that's what he was. He was like a rapper that just kind of got you like going. And now you got to sit and think about what he's saying. So Satan using them all wrong. Now I heard this crazy debate about Lil Wayne being. This is from Master P's own mouth, and I just have to say, Master P is one of the most amazing people on planet Earth. That's just my personal opinion, okay? And it's definitely a biased opinion. Master P is a beautiful person because you know how much humility it takes for you to say something like Lil Wayne is the GOAT of New Orleans when you know damn well you are? Man, it takes so much humility and humbleness. Lil Wayne is really cool. He's cool. And this is something that I can't necessarily put my stamp on because I'm not from New Orleans and I got to respect their politics. But man, do you know how many great artists come from New Orleans? Dog, you got BG. BG is one of the realest rappers on planet Earth. He lived in Detroit for a little moment. And he was able to survive New Orleans and Detroit. So you know BG is really about that life. You just know that. Then, one of my favorite rappers growing up. Nobody know this about me. Juvenile is one of my favorite. It's one of my top 10 rappers of all time. Juvenile. Okay, Juvenile. I used to emulate Juvenile when I used to practice rapping. I used to just rap to myself. Nobody heard my lyrics. It was just me writing to myself, freestyling in my own head. That's how I developed my style. Juvenile was a rapper that I strongly latched onto because he was extremely charismatic. And his lyrics were potent. They weren't lyrical like a New York MC's, but they were just potent. Just like Wayne's. Wayne's lyrics is potent, but they weren't like New York, lyricism. It wasn't that. Then you got Turk. I got this nigga named Rob, and Rob is my dog. Turk was you needed Turk when it came to the Hot Boys because Turk, you was like, basically Turk played the role of you. Like Turk was like the you in the Hot Boys. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had to find their person. For me, it was Turk. Turk allowed me to be a part of the Hot Boys too, because Turk was like a street guy. You could tell that Turk was just told he had to rap. Hey, Turk, we need you to join this group. Damn, I gotta put these drugs down. I gotta put this gun down. Yeah, Turk, we need a fourth member. Shit. Here, man, hold my weed. I'm gonna join these little rappers, bro. Like Turk was the real person. You can just feel that. You got Birdman himself. Let's not sleep on Birdman. One of the most. I'm gonna tell you what I hate. I hate that Birdman is not seen as a legitimate rap threat. Like, yes, he's amazing in terms of what he does from behind the scenes and Guru and him and Slim, blah, blah. But let me tell you something. Birdman is how, you want to know the truth? Here's the truth. Birdman, Lil Wayne raps like Birdman. That's how he actually raps. All right? That's how Wayne actually raps, like Birdman. But let me tell you something. I hate that Birdman's rap style doesn't get more credit. It doesn't get credit amongst the mainstream hip hop fans, still losers that don't know nothing about rap. But from like real rappers, we love Birdman, like secretly, like his rap style. I love Birdman's rap style. And I'll say it loud and proud. I put in work. I love that rap style. It's not over and hyper lyrical. But if you look at people like Tupac wasn't hyper lyrical. You kidding me? No. He had the capacity to be hyper lyrical. But like a Biggie Smalls, Jay-Z lyrical, Nas lyrical? No, he wasn't. Pac was energy first, passion, and he was also a great lyricist. But overly lyrical, Pac didn't care about metaphors and similes and all that. He cared about penetrating your heart. And that's what made him so authentic and real. And I think this is where Lil Wayne has kind of detracted from. See, back in the day, Lil Wayne, he hit you, he made you love him. That's what Lil Wayne did. He made you love him in terms of like him. But now, I feel like you're loving what he wants to be. But Birdman, and man, let me just put this out there. Manny fucking Fresh? Do you know how much I love Manny Fresh? Like, if I could, and this is no lie, no exaggeration. If I could, I would drop a whole album with Manny Fresh. I wish I could. I really do. Because I just love Manny Fresh. I love his style. I love the way he rap. I love his sound in terms of his mixing and mastering and his beats. Man, it's a crime that Birdman and Manny Fresh's style don't get more respect. In fact, they do. It's just in secret. Birdman is an amazing rapper. I'm gonna nobody say. Then you got people like the Hurricane Chris's. You got the you got the Webbies. You got, man, it's just a whole scene. But for me, as far as my greatest of all time New Orleans rapper, you got the Mia X's. You got the Mr. Servon. You got so many people out there, bro. And it's just crazy that people just kind of just overlook them. But for me, the greatest New Orleans rapper of all time is no question about it. Master P, man. Master P. How do we not know that? It's not about no damn lyrics, man. Rap is not about no damn lyrics. Since rap's inception, it's been about touching the people and change. And who has touched more people and changed more than Master P? Man, for real, if it wasn't for Master P, we probably not even talking about Lil Wayne. Let's be realistic. Master P came in with no limit and shut it down. He's the first one who got our hearts. Master P got our hearts, okay? And Cash Money came in and made us happy as well. But Master P got our hearts. Cash Money came in and got our minds and our imagination. And then they eventually showed that they are great at longevity and outlasting No Limits. No Limits. And then they kind of took over. But it was Master P and No Limit that expanded everything. Master P came in, dropped albums all day long, and they were authentic to his roots. They were authentic to the hood. Then, as if that wasn't enough, he goes on to make movies, merchandise. He changes the fucking game, bro. Master P is one of the greatest rappers of all time. Not just in New Orleans, but period. As a matter of fact, I got Master P like, I don't know where, I haven't sat down and wrote a list, but between 1 and 15, Master P is in that motherfucker. Let me tell you. Because without him, man, this whole game is different. Because he came in and did everything. The man even played on an NBA team. That is how groundbreaking Master P is. He deserves so much more credit. So for Master P to say Lil Wayne is the greatest of all time, that's like Eminem saying that Drake was the greatest of all time. Like, it's like, come on, bro. You're just being humble. We respect that. You feel me? And that's there's no shade, but we know when someone is being humble, respectful, showing humility. We definitely know when that's happening. But nevertheless, I think Wayne goes wrong when he accepts that deal from the devil. Like many rappers do. And a lot of rappers haven't been as good as they were pre-deal. You want to talk about that? A lot of rappers who've given their soul to the devil, they haven't been musically as good as they were pre-deal. And it sucks, man. Because I'm a hip-hop enthusiast before I'm anything musically. I'm a fan first. And I remember the Wayne before that deal, man. I remember it. And he was just different. He was better. He was better in terms of energy is concerned. Man, what happened? What went wrong? But yeah, I wouldn't say, matter of fact, I'm not going to even be nice about it. Lil Wayne is not the greatest of all time. Acquiring the services of writers automatically eliminates you from that. And these writers are obviously not going to be able to talk about it for obvious reasons. We saw Gilly kind of give you a little hint of it, but he can't talk about it. It's NDAs, it's everything else. It's street politics, all that. Why they can't really speak on it. And that's fine. That's fine. And I personally think that having ghostwriters is cool. It just removes you from the top 10 debate, but it doesn't mean that you're not talented, and I think that we have to, as a hip hop community, understand that. Okay, fine. We do have these hip hop rules. You can't have ghostwriters. You can't snitch. You can't tell. You can't file lawsuits. All these things are true. All right. I'm with you on all those things. You can't be this. You can't be that. But it doesn't mean you're not talented. And that's what it is for Lil Wayne. For me, I want to be clear about this as I start to kind of close this out. He's not the greatest of all time by any stretch of the imagination. But here's what he is. He's extremely talented. Extremely. All right. Don't let me deceive you. Lil Wayne is extremely talented. Extremely talented. Okay? Extremely. And that's all that needs to be said. And I'm just thinking about how much bigger God would have made him. Because I know how the devil operates. I know how he is. He a liar. So what he does is he promises you all this stuff. And we can kind of start to see it. I think Lil Wayne sold his masters to something like that. So that you don't sell your masters to a catalog that big unless you need money. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the devil's already starting to play Lil Wayne. And I really wish he'd wake up and say, you know what? I'm going to get the last laugh and I'm going to start changing souls. Because Lil Wayne is confused. He's conflicted too. I don't know if you can tell. Lil Wayne, he'll say something like, it's hot down here. Take a walk with Satan. He works in Hell's Kitchen and stuff like that. Basically, just kind of holding true to his deal with the devil. But then he'll sneak in stuff like, bury me like my father on a cross. They ain't like Jesus, something like that. So he's conflicted. He don't even know which side he really want to be on. His heart is on the original side, God's side. But he know his obligations and his money, because he love his money. His money is on the Satan side. So he's conflicted. He doesn't really know which side of the spectrum he really want to be on. His new song with, I forget the guy's name, Corday or something like that. What he say on that song? He say something like, I need more prayers, less praying hands, or something like that. Yeah, he's giving you hints that, you know, he's a God-fearing man. He even has fear of God on his eyelids. He a God-fearing man. Because that's who he is. Like the real Dwayne Carter, he's a God-fearing man. But unfortunately, the character Lil Wayne, yeah, he sold out. He sold us out, man. He sold out. He is Satanist, bro. And the devil has taken Lil Wayne's image and has injected it into a whole new culture of kids that want to be what they think Lil Wayne is. Not realizing that Lil Wayne is really just an actor. Lil Wayne is just an actor. What was that? He was in The Wiz. That's a Scarecrow. He's an actor, man. He's an actor. And just like Michael Jackson, who started as a kid, Lil Wayne is basically like the Michael Jackson of rap. Okay? He's a sweet person. All right? Lil Wayne is a sweet person. A nice, good look. He was a good little kid, in my opinion. And, you know, through the politics of New Orleans and the politics of the industry, he's had to become who he has to become. There was a point in Lil Wayne's career where he didn't even curse. You understand that? Like, that's how long I've been in the game, as far as paying attention to it. There was a point in Lil Wayne's career where, out of respect for Sitha, I think her name is Sitha, his mother, long story short, he didn't even use profanity. All right? There was a point where Lil Bow Wow and Wayne were like this, and you could argue that Lil Bow Wow was that and Wayne was this. You can even make the argument that Lil Wayne wanted to be Lil Bow Wow at one point. That's probably where he got the Lil from. Because let's talk about Lil Bow Wow. Lil Bow Wow was one of the most influential rappers of our generation. I also strongly believe, I don't think this is news to anybody, that Lil Bow Wow was getting his rhymes written for him via Jermaine Dupri. And I think that's where maybe Birdman might have got the idea from. Okay, all right. But Sha Moss is an amazing talent, okay? Fine, he's not going to be in your top 10 GOAT rappers because of the whole ghostwriting thing, but we have to make sure we make this distinction in this video that just because you don't write your own rhymes and you're not maybe in that GOAT tier or that GOAT conversation, realistically, against, you know, as far as the authentic rap hip-hop board, we ain't talking about fans. We talking about people who rap and know the science and know what's behind the scenes. I'm talking about them. That's the real board. We ain't talking about the little hip hop fans that just believe anything and everything. All right? We ain't talking about them. But as far as the board, yeah, we can say, hey, he's not going to be in that top 10 GOAT list. I'm talking about Sha Moss, Lil Bow Wow. But we can all agree that Lil Bow Wow is incredibly talented, incredibly impactful. Lil Bow Wow is one of the most influential rappers on my career, or lack thereof. Okay? I was a young boy growing up, and I saw the braids from Lil Bow Wow. That's where probably Lil Wayne got the braids from. Lil Wayne used to have braids. And trust me, Lil Wayne was a fan of Lil Bow Wow at one point. He had to be. He took his name. He took his braids. You think I'm stupid? He was on songs with him. Lil Bow Wow had every rapper that's of age now, between maybe the 30s and 40s, this whole landscape of rappers, they all at one point had to admit that they love some damn Lil Bow Wow. They all have to admit that. Because Lil Bow Wow was good. And he had all the ladies. All the little girls that we was hanging around with their little Forever 21 on, with their little, you know, glitter lip gloss, they was all in love with Lil Bow Wow. So we had to conform. We had to say, you know what? We gotta figure out what he doing. I had to get the braids too. I had to get them. It was Lil Bow Wow and Allen Iverson. That was who the Heartthrobs was in my time. All right. But anyway, so while people like Bow Wow or Wayne, they won't be in that GOAT conversation, they can still be in a GOAT conversation for something different, like rap. Because I do believe there's a difference between hip hop, lyricism, you know, the rules, and rap. I think rap has its own category. It's just it's the authentic expression of music. Hip hop is that, you know, that master craftsmanship, you know, write every bar, 16 bar, you know, that whole, you know, that sacred, put it inside of a treasure chest, lock it up. Where's the list? When you take the list out of the treasure chest, it's like the Constitution, the top 10 rappers who wrote all their rhymes, never had a ghostwriter. It's that, you know, that's hip hop to me. All right, just to me. But rap is, you know, go for what you know. Who sounds the best? Who sells the most? All right. And I think that Wayne or, you know, artists like Sha, they can definitely hang their bones on that side of things. In my opinion, because I'm not the authority on this. I don't really give two fucks like that. Not like that. That's pretty much it, man. Wayne is not the greatest of all time for those things stated in this video. However, it doesn't take away from his talent. It doesn't take away from his ability to entertain. It doesn't take away from his genius. He's a genius. Okay? Lil Wayne is a genius.